Chinedu was a quiet man who lived at the end of Umunza Road. People respected him because he was the only coffin maker in the whole area. He worked with his hands, he worked with patience, and he worked with hope. But hope began to die slowly because people were not dying anymore. His workshop was full of finished coffins, more than 12 of them, all shining, neat, and ready for use. But nobody needed them. His hands were idle, his tools were quiet, and his heart became hungry. Hungry for work, hungry for money, hungry for customers. He always told himself, a coffin maker must never lack customers, even if customers must be created. Those words came from his late father, and they echoed in his mind every day. One morning, Chinedu sat on a stool in his quiet workshop, rubbing his fingers together. Everywhere around him was silent. No hammering, no sawing, no orders. It annoyed him. Umunza community suddenly became too healthy. People jogged, people drank herbs, people went for checkups. The last burial was almost 8 months ago, and that burial saved Chinedu from almost closing his shop. 8 months without a sale, 8 months without death, 8 months of watching his work rot in dust. His eyes twitched as he whispered, "Something must happen." Chinedu began to think of ways to encourage death in the community. Poison, accidents, traps. He wrote names in a small brown notebook. Possible customers. Mama Lucy, weak heart. Oga Dan, always drinking. Ibrahim, night security. Ada lives alone. Mr. Uzo, stubborn smoker. He started planning one by one. But then one night, a new idea came to him. A smarter idea. A quiet idea. A powerful idea. He didn't need to kill people himself. He only needed to make them die naturally. And that was when he remembered his girlfriend, Chioma, the popular bread, butter and hot tea seller by the roadside. She sold a lot every morning. People trusted her. People depended on her for breakfast. People loved her, which meant she had many potential customers. One night, when Chioma closed her small wooden kiosk, Chinedu called her into his workshop. He locked the door. She sat down, wiping sweat from her forehead. "Chioma," he said quietly, "do you trust me?" She smiled. "Of course. You are my man." Chinedu leaned closer. "Do you want us to make plenty money? Money that will change our lives?" Her eyes widened. "Tell me now." Chinedu brought out a tiny container with a white powder. It looked harmless. It had no smell. He said, "Just mix a small pinch inside the butter you use for bread, and also pour small inside the hot tea. It will not kill them immediately. Sometimes it will take 1 week, sometimes 2. But when they die, their families will come to me for coffin." Chioma's heart jumped. At first, she wanted to refuse, but the thought of quick money, new clothes, a better shop, a better life, it entered her head. "What if they suspect?" she whispered. "They won't," Chinedu assured her. "No one suspects bread and tea." After a long silence, Chioma nodded slowly. "I will help you." Chinedu hugged her tightly, smiling behind her back. That night, they formed a quiet, deadly partnership. Everything started small. 1 pinch in the butter, 1 pinch in the tea. Customers bought their breakfast as usual, laughing and greeting Chioma. Nothing changed. Not immediately. The first man who died was Mr. Benson, a regular customer. He came every morning for bread, butter, and hot tea. 2 weeks later, he fell sick. 3 days after, he died in his sleep. His family cried. People gathered, and they came straight to Chinedu. Please help us build a beautiful coffin. Chinedu pretended to be sad. Ah, what a painful loss, he said. Let me do my best for you. But inside his heart, he was dancing. More people began dying. A young trader, a taxi driver, a tailor, a pregnant woman's husband, a school teacher. Different ages, different backgrounds. No pattern, no suspicion. The community doctor kept saying, it must be stress. Maybe malaria. Maybe heart failure. Nobody thought of bread. Nobody thought of tea. And nobody thought of the quiet coffin maker who always appeared humble, yet filled dozens of coffins with new bodies. Chinedu became rich quietly. He bought new tools, new wood, even hired 2 boys to help him polish coffins. Meanwhile, Chioma's roadside business never slowed down. People still gathered every morning to eat. They had no idea. As money increased, Chinedu grew greedy. He told Chioma, we need more customers. Faster. Chioma swallowed hard. Fear was entering her heart. But she had tasted wealth. Her shop had grown. She had new clothes, new hair. People now respected her. Okay, she whispered. What next? Chinedu smiled in a way that made her shiver. I have many ideas. Chinedu's new life looked sweet on the outside. Money was flowing. Coffins were selling. People were dying softly and quietly, just the way he wanted. And every evening, after Chioma closed her roadside tea stall, she would go straight to Chinedu's new house, a house he bought from the prophet of dead bodies. They would eat roasted chicken, peppered goat meat, fried plantain, and cold drinks. They would laugh, they would hug, they would talk about the future. To the world, they looked like a happy couple enjoying their evening. But behind Chioma's smiles, tears were hiding. Because Chinedu had become something else. One evening, as they sat eating roasted chicken, Chinedu leaned forward and said, Chioma, we need to increase the work. She blinked. Increase how? You must start selling evening pap and akara too, he said. There are many customers in the night. We will make more money if they eat from your hand morning and night. Chioma nearly dropped her spoon. Chinedu, isn't morning tea and bread enough? Too many people are dying. Chinedu's eyes hardened. Chioma, don't start. Her heart shook. She kept quiet. But that night, as she walked home, guilt pressed her chest like a heavy stone. Day after day, more people who bought from her fell sick and died. Some of them knew her personally. Some used to greet her warmly. Some used to dash her extra money. Every time a familiar face died, Chioma cried silently in her small wooden stall. Customers began noticing. Auntie Chioma, why are you sad again? Why are tears always in your eyes? What is wrong? But she couldn't speak. Her hands trembled every time she held the butter knife. Her knees shook each time she lifted the tea flask. She wanted to confess. She wanted to run away. But Chinedu would always hold her shoulder and say, if you open your mouth, you won't live to finish the sentence. Those words lived inside her heart. One cloudy afternoon, Chioma finally broke down. She rushed to Chinedu's workshop, shaking and crying. Chinedu, I can't do this anymore. I want to confess to the police. I want to free my soul. Too many people are dying. Chinedu stood up slowly. He wiped her tears. He hugged her. He whispered gently into her ear. Please don't do this. Think of our future. Think of our plans. I love you. Don't spoil everything. His soft words melted her for a moment. She nodded weakly. Okay, I won't talk. But when she left, Chinedu locked the workshop door, leaned on the wall, and exhaled deeply. He muttered, This girl has become a problem. A big problem. She will confess one day. I must handle her. He stared at the empty coffin standing in the corner and whispered, One slot is waiting for her. But then another thought entered his mind. If I kill her, who will help me continue? I need a replacement first. Chinedu smiled to himself. He began planning. Meanwhile, the community hospital got a new doctor, Dr. Philip. Young, sharp, observant, not easily fooled, and in just 1 month, he noticed something strange. Too many deaths, all unrelated, all sudden, all from different families, but they all had one thing in common. All the dead people used to eat Chioma's bread, butter and tea every morning. He kept quiet and decided to investigate secretly. He collected samples. He observed patterns. He took notes. He was getting close, very close. One Thursday morning, Chioma was shaking badly as she prepared tea. Her eyes were red from crying all night. Her mind was heavy with guilt. Her hands were trembling like dry leaves. And then the accident happened. She mistakenly added too much powder into one customer's hot tea. The young man took just a few sips and instantly fell to the ground, convulsing, struggling, foaming. People screamed, panicked, gathered. Jesus! What is happening? Somebody help! Doctor! Dr. Philip, who happened to be passing by, rushed in. He checked the man's pulse already gone. Dead instantly. And Chioma fell to her knees, shaking violently. Her lips kept muttering, God forgive me. God forgive me. God forgive me. People stared at her strangely. Dr. Philip picked up the teacup, sniffed it, dipped a test strip into it. His face changed immediately. He turned slowly to Chioma and said, Auntie, you have a lot of explaining to do. Before Chioma could even run, people held her. She broke completely. She confessed right there in front of the whole community, crying, shaking, shouting. She told them everything. How Chinedu convinced her, how he threatened her, how the powder worked, how many people had died, how their deaths made Chinedu rich. The community was shocked. Some wept, some screamed in anger. Some cursed the day they ever ate from her stall. Dr. Philip called the police immediately. Meanwhile, someone had already gone to warn Chinedu that Chioma had confessed. Chinedu tried to escape, but the police were faster. He was arrested while trying to run into the bush. His workshop was sealed. His coffins were seized, and he was dragged to the station like the criminal he was. Chioma and Chinedu were both charged for murder several counts. The judge made no mistake. Chinedu got life imprisonment. Chioma also got long years behind bars, though with mercy because she confessed. Dr. Philip became a community hero for exposing the truth. The deaths stopped immediately. The community finally breathed again. Greed destroys. What looks like quick money can lead straight to destruction. Wrong partnership is deadly. Be careful who you join hands with. Their darkness can swallow your destiny. A guilty conscience never sleeps. Even when evil seems successful, peace will never stay in the heart of the wicked. Every action has consequences. What you do in secret will always come to light, no matter how long it takes. Choose honesty over shortcuts. A clean life is better than a rich but cursed life. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please share it, comment your thoughts, and follow us for more powerful, emotional, and interesting stories. This is Delia Story Time, bringing you the best stories every time.